Etude number 5 is not only challenging because of its rhythmic figure that needs to be maintained for 2 pages, the so-called Sicilian rhythm, but we also have string crossings we are going to discuss, and also thumb position, which needs to have a great deal of organization within the octave frame that we will have, and inside the frame to have the whole steps and half steps pre-organized. And the first 18 bars provide a very good example of exactly that. We are going to go to thumb position, and as we get there, we should right away arrange our hand for the next few notes. One other issue that is worth mentioning is how do we shift when we have the octaves in the passage I just played. And what I like to do, I'm going to slow it down to show you how I shift. I like to use an anticipated shift whereby I go early and light to the next position, and I hit it briefly before I play it for real in the next bow. And that to me is more important than, or more, I would say, recommended than shifting last minute in a jerky fashion. So I practice slowly now the octaves. And so on and so forth. As you see, early and light is the way to go, in my opinion, to make it seem effortless. The next issue is of a different nature. It's about string crossing in bar number 35. String crossing which has us cross over one string, in this case a D string, without engaging it. And there is a way to achieve that by stopping the bow after we play the first note, and then we cross without engaging a D string, and we keep our bow pressure in place before we play the next few notes. So that is how we deal with this particular kind of challenge, which appears a number of times throughout the etude. The next challenge is very similar to the first one, meaning at the recapitulation of this etude, we are going to ascend once again to the thumb position, and as we arrive to thumb position right away, it is important to arrive with that pre-arranged hand frame, and we then will have a few shifts to discuss. Here I prefer to use a thumb harmonic because I then prepare my hand for the next position, and I very much like that idea. So a thumb harmonic, I would say, is much more convenient than any other choice. And then as I continue, in this second such position change, we don't have that luxury of a harmonic, so we have to have a different way of shifting to this C sharp. So I'll show you slowly how I use the anticipated shift once again. What I do, I shift early to that C sharp, I hit it very softly, then I play it for real in the next bow. Now, this descending passage is quite simple actually if we maintain our hand frame and then gradually go back step by step without losing the frame, keeping it intact but just slightly enlarging it bit by bit as we go backwards. Until the end of the etude, there is nothing really new, but the very end to me is worth discussing because we have this big A major arpeggio, and I would practice it a bit differently to prepare myself for playing it later as it is written and up to tempo. I would practice it slowly without the rhythm, legato as arpeggio which has connectivity between all positions. And I would also press a bit the highest harmonics because otherwise they tend to sound flat. After I practice this and I familiarize myself with the legato feel in the left hand, I would keep the legato feel intact as I go up to tempo, and I add the rhythm as written, and that's how I deal with this particular issue.